we all have been in situations that we have trauma, like build up.
Facts.
Instead of dealing with it on your own, have you ever went to counseling? Have you ever went to therapy?
I was thinking
for
that.
your.
So let me reach out. So as a stipulation of one of my past situations, I went to counseling, but you got to be open to counseling. I wasn't open to it. I don't think as a man, we got to be open to the shit, and we not. I wasn't. You know what I mean? It's like.
But I'm not talking about counseling with someone. Counseling for yourself.
Yeah.
Like you're independent.
Yeah, I went for myself.
You went for yourself.
I went for myself, and I really wasn't receptive to it. I'm no dummy. You know what I mean? I know, not to say that I'm a dummy, but we got to be open to having counseling. There's nothing he can.
He wasn't open at the time.
There was nothing he could offer me that I don't already know.
Okay.
Are you open now?
Not necessarily now. I mean, I don't feel like I know where my wrongs and my rights are. It's just a matter of getting to a certain point. Like, that's the thing. Like, you're not going to talk me into something. No matter what, there's nobody going to talk to me about my problems versus me dealing with them on my own.
But sometimes it's not the person that you're talking to, it's that listening ear. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're not looking for somebody to give you any feedback. You're just listening for that person to just dump everything on, for them to just listen.
I agree, but the stance and the opinion doesn't change.
But it might if you try it.
I went. I mean, so I tried it. I was open, like I scheduled it.
You just said you wasn't open.
Yeah, you said you wasn't
I
open.
tried it.
Yeah, you tried it.
And
you
the guy told me point blank the first visit, like, you got to be open to counseling, and there's nothing wrong with you. You clearly know how to do what you need to do. So at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with you. So counseling is not.
Are you open to counseling?
So you've been to counseling?
I'm currently in counseling.
You've been to counseling?
I currently have a therapist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, I'm the only person that's never even did it, right? So, but I hear different things about it. So I'm like, and I know, especially as a black person, not even a black man, a black person, I think we all need counseling. Like, just our skin color alone. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The unfairness and you know what I mean, everything that go on with our skin color. I'm open to it because I know we all need it. I lost some close people, and that changed my whole life. That I'll never be the same, and I'm never gonna be the same since them persons are not here no anymore. Right? So I already know I need it. Like, so I'm open to it, but I'm the only person up here who's never been, indulged in counseling.
I tried it, and it's based on who you are and where you are. So it wasn't for me. I don't think it's for me right now. So.
You definitely got to be open to it. You definitely got to be looking to change something about yourself, whether it's emotional, physical, mental. You got to be open to it.
Being transparent. Mm-hmm.
But as a man, it's like, for us, we don't sit well with being vulnerable, right? You got to be vulnerable.
That's the problem.
Like, we don't sit well with being vulnerable. It's a sign of weakness for men, and that comes from society. Though
We're taught that, though. We're raised that way.
Yeah.
You fall, get up, nigga. You ain't crying. Get your ass up and keep going.
Yeah,
like, so that's the way you're taught. Like,
well, that is where therapy should come in, because if you can't be vulnerable and emotional in everyday life, that hour you get a week or every other week, that should be the time when you can be emotional and vulnerable
and release some shit.
Like how Nikki said, like. You now it's that person that just even just is listening to you having a bad week or whatever. That's that person.
I agree and I don't agree, because a man should be a man. So that's what's wrong with our young men now, is they taught to be vulnerable and they taught to be, show your emotions, and that's okay. But at the same time, you a man. So I agree.
Everybody get a trophy.
Extent, but if you,
I agree with that. But how you feel now? I have 3 boys, right?
Yeah.
And how you feel now, like, a man should be a man, a man should do. If I teach my sons that, when do they have the space to be emotional, be vulnerable, be, like, when do we have that space? So if we keep repeating this cycle of men can't cry, men can't be emotional, men can't, you have to have that space where you're okay to be emotional. It's okay to be vulnerable. It ain't gotta be every day. You don't be walking around crying every day. But we can't make it to where it's not okay.
Keyword is space. Keyword is when and the space. So once he leave from under mama wing, who out there can he trust? So that's the thing you got to realize. Like, the world is the world. Like, so he got that space with mama. I don't have mama. You know what I mean? So where do you find that space?
Maybe that space is therapy.
Right. So I'm saying, so as a man, that's the most difficult thing, is determine when is it with I'm sleeping with this chick. I think this the female, but where's that space at? I don't know where the space is. And that's what causes our young people more confusion. And that's what makes them also more vulnerable, is because they release it at every time they get the opportunity.